Alan, going into that match, to be fair to Peter O'Mahony and Andy Farrell, they expected England to be good. Maybe the media and us, so to speak, or different people in the media were saying, it's a 10 point, advantage to Ireland. That was the bookies thought, or 11 points. But they expected England to be right on it, and that's what happened.
Maybe people like you, Stuart, set me and Matt Williams and me up.
You've got your own voice, lad.
But you created that narrative. It's all your fault. No, of course.
I think about it, Al, you're right.
Yeah, he sets us up every week. But look, at the end of the day, of course, there's always a danger. In any talk I had last week about the England game, I spoke about all we can do is speak about facts and form. So the facts and the form that England have shown us would have indicated that from an attack point of view, they weren't creating very much at the World Cup or in the Six Nations. We all said they've good players, and tactically the way they're set up is the problem. Not that they're not good enough and they don't have athletic, dangerous people playing for England. I think that was probably the frustrating thing for English fans is there's actually a lot of good players in that English team. One-off games, yes, we saw in the World Cup. The weather was really poor that night in Paris. It was lashing rain. It was difficult conditions. It suited that English team against South Africa because they were able to muscle up, physically get into the South Africans and kick really well, put pressure on, win a knock-on, squeeze South Africa, get a couple of penalties. And they did that brilliantly. We know they're always capable of imposing their physicality. That's a given with England. And I say that as a former player who experienced that and who saw that up close and personal. And I think what we saw, as I said, what we've seen from England in recent times, not just this World Cup or since Steve Borthwick, is the last 3 Six Nations, they've only won 2 games in each one. So there's a fair bit of evidence to say here that England haven't been great for a while. Matt referenced 2019. A lot of the English pundits that I saw online or on social media in the last couple of days and last weekend was reminding of the last time they saw England play that well was that semi-final in 2019 in Japan. So they got it right, and credit to Steve Borthwick. He's taken a fair bit of flack. The team have taken flack, and it does, I know when you're kind of rallying the troops and everyone's against you on the outside, it does give you an extra spring in your step. Andy Farrell and Peter O'Mahony and the Irish players and other coaches would have known that there's going to be a fair reaction coming here. So I think we based it on what we've seen. I said many times last week that the ex-player in me will never let me go, oh well, in any sport, or, if I support Liverpool playing soccer and they're playing a third division team in the FA Cup, that Liverpool are going to win 7-0 here or 10-0 or whatever. I'm hesitant. Something can happen. You can get a deflection off a corner, you can get a free kick, and then they shut up shop, and then the opposition, the favourites, can make mistakes. And that's the great thing about sport. I'm not saying that was entirely the case, because tactically England were really good last week. Where Ireland were naive was they didn't foresee the possibility of England's counter-attack. Furbank, Freeman and Face Waboso with their counter-attack and their danger, I think they caused Ireland problems with that. And Ireland were quite narrow. First try is a kick upfield from James Lowe. Highlighted very well by everybody. They were quite narrow. Calvin Nash comes in to make the tackle. He gets concussed. Robbie Henshaw then makes a tackle. And just that fold around the corner could have been better. Caelan Doris kind of just comes forward and the pass just gets away from him. And then Ollie Lawrence scores. Ireland are 17-8 up in the second half of that game. And very soon afterwards, Jamison Gibson Park kicks the ball up the touchline. They play it in field. There's a bit of bobbling around the middle. They're popping it out with the tackles. And suddenly they come back that way again. And our outside defender is Tadhg Furlong. So that's not Ireland that we've seen, that shape, that organisation. And that was the way back into this game for England. They brought them right back into it with that try. They scored it brilliantly, in fairness. Joe McCarthy shot out of the line. So they made little errors there. And I'm not trying to individualise this. I just think it summed up the whole day. The end passage of play, Ian Henderson wins the line-out. Conor Murray and they rumble an English guy into touch, 76 or 77 minute, and Ireland have the line-out. Ian Henderson wins it cleanly at the back of the line-out. Ireland are about 2 yards inside their own 22. They pass it infield to Jack Conan, who is illegally tackled by Ben Earl right in front of the referee. There was decisions in the game that could have went either way, and I think the referee got stuff wrong for both sides. I think, in particular, I say this from an Irish point of view, they got away with a couple of breakdown penalties, and England were penalised twice the breakdown. Ollie Lawrence for one, which I thought was fine. I think there was another one that was very similar to Bundy Aki's one that he got rewarded. I think the hands were on the ground. But anyway, I go to the end piece there where Jack Conan makes that carry. He flips right over down his head. For me, the reason I'd highlight that one, because it's foul play. It's not a decision by the referee that could have went either way. It's clear foul play. Jack Conan could have broken his neck right in front of the referee. Ireland should have got a penalty for that. They didn't. Conor Murray from that breakdown kicks it up the touchline. Everybody's asking, well, should he kicked it long? Why didn't he do this? My point is why they played it in another pass in field, and then to ask your scrum half to kick it from the base of that breakdown. We don't have visuals here, but I'm saying that ball should have been cleared. When Ian Henderson wins the line-out, they have good control on the maul. That should be James Lowe and Jack Crowley behind that maul, one on either side to use, whichever was the better option, or else Conor Murray to clear straight from the back of the maul. There's no need to play it in one phase. They might say, or someone might say to me, well, it's to bring England up a little bit. But I just think at the back of that maul, that's Conor Murray thumping it long down the field, getting our kick chase. And then England have to come from 60, 70 yards to beat Ireland. The other thing that caught Ireland was off that line-out from Conor Murray clearing it. England went to a four-man line-out. They went for width. Ireland were very passive in the 13 channel. And unlike Robbie Henshaw, he gets kind of marched back 10 yards, hanging on to an English player who has the ball. Off that ruck, then all the trouble ensues. So I know I went on a bit forward tactically there, but there's a couple of things there that stand out for me. So England surprised Ireland. Did they surprise all the pundits? Well, the other thing I would address is arrogance. I genuinely don't believe there's any arrogance in the Irish squad. I don't think, not with Andy Farrell. I don't think there's arrogance in me in the sense that I completely dismissed England. I kept saying last week, if you don't turn up right with your head screwed on and you're willing to roll up your sleeves in any match in this situation away from home, you're going to come undone and you're in trouble. And I'm not saying Ireland did that, but I highlighted that. But the fact of the matter is a lot of people got a little bit blindsided by England's quality and their execution and the way they counter-attacked in particular. They didn't have to get into 10, 15, 20 phases in any form of the attack. It was 4, 5, 6 phases max, and they caused problems for Ireland. So I think Ireland, it's a harsh lesson for Ireland. It's a harsh lesson for them. I think there was some people in the media probably got ahead of themselves, yes, but all the English media were surprised themselves.